Hello everyone, I'm very happy to see you here in episode 14. Last time in episode 13 we made the hallway with the floor trap that disables the tile, exposes the hole, and then you fall in it, you hear the sound effect, and you end up in this cave. And we even painted the cave in advance, most of it, because we did not want to waste time in this episode doing all over doing what needed to be done, which is to create an area where we can do stuff. So in this episode we're gonna do a lot of stuff in the cave. So two things to say. First, I made a list so let's go over that. So we're gonna make we have not covered it yet. Rem is still alone, poor guy. So we're gonna give him a friend. We're gonna go over the basics of the particle effect, because we have not used any so far. So I'm just gonna show you guys it exists, and let's make something. And then we're gonna just put invisible monsters, visible monsters, and chain quests, but all that is all recycling stuff that we already done. So this part is gonna be fast. We have to enter manually the name of the new enemies and stuff, but it's still gonna be stuff that we already did. So it's not, I'm not gonna give it the same attention than the new topics. Okay, I think this makes sense this way. And then in the end we're gonna put it all together, because right now I'm gonna put like the monsters, NPC, the new party member, particle effect, whatever. I'm gonna put it all there, and then we'll configure it out. We will configure it all, and then we will put it all together, like I said. Also, you notice, oh, the voice is synchronized with my face. This is amazing. I have not heard such a level of synchronization since episode 4, which was the bilingual episode, which is the episode that has the most dislikes for some reason. So I guess people really hate bilingual videos, so I have not done any other bilingual videos yet. I don't know. Because only the people that don't like stuff express themselves. The people that like stuff, they very, very shy. They very rarely say anything. But the people with discontent in them, or whatever the proper name in English, those are very vocal about it, and they express themselves. Is what I'm getting at. So please, nice people, express yourselves too if you want stuff. It's like politics, you know, people vote on stuff, and right now in society as a whole, I don't think this is something that has to do with 2024. I think this is something that's always been like that. The people that are not happy in life are more vocal than the people that are happy, because the people that are happy are busy enjoying being alive and happy, but the people that are not happy, they're busy wondering, why am I not happy? This must be everyone's fault. Whatever. Let's not make this a psychological episode. I'm just saying that if you like the content, please do subscribe and like, and if you dislike it, do what you will. I'm just saying that if only the people that dislike express themselves, we are gonna live in a world that looks very dark, and we should, as positive people, express ourselves to maintain mental health. Whatever. All that being said, we will also get to make a decision, like do we go with the slime asset that I will present the web page of the creator as usual, as always when I show free assets, or will we just make Rem's mom go completely nuts and use the RPG kit demo NPCs? Yeah, so let's keep on, guys. So back to voiceover mode now that the intro is completed. So for this episode we're gonna start by placing the sprite of Rem's friend, the new party member Hollis, onto the scene. We will not go with well, Mr. Mustache prefab style. We will go with an actual sprite this time. That's what I meant. We will use an actual sprite of what the party member will look like, and behind it we will hide all the NPC mechanics, instead of putting him right there. So I place it on the map. You see the contour. So yeah, you need to put him on the player layer. Once that's done, if you look at those are graphics that come with the kit, so we are stuck with the amount of sprites of frames that are available. If you look the file, it only has a idle animation looking left, so either looking left or right if you reverse it. My point is there is no animation for looking up and looking down, so if you want him to be animated, we have to use this one. So once you place the sprite, you add a collider, you place the collider, then we're gonna create his animation. I don't want to create conflicts by naming it like Hollis anim, so I just specify this is Hollis cavern anim. I just want to be sure that I don't name it something that already exists in the demo, because I use the same character with the same name. So now we're gonna drag the only 4 sprites that are part of an animation, like I said. I'm gonna test some sample speed. I think 8 is fine. I'm just gonna look the 7 and the 6, but nah, this is subjective anyway. I'll end up leaving him at 8 because I think it's fine. And once that will be done, we will need to go fetch the quest ecosystem that we made in episode 9, and then in episode 10 we finished it. It was 100% working, so we will recycle that quest ecosystem. This way we can use what's in place. We will do that a lot in game dev in general. When you configure something nice, you then prefab it and you can use it elsewhere, and this is what we're gonna do. It's why we work so hard to make it perfect in episode 9 and 10, and now we will be able to reuse it for all kinds of purposes, not only for a return mission but for everything NPC related. So for now, French counterpart is deciding, yeah, do we use a mission to make him join, or do we just speak to him and he joins? So I'm like, okay, let's use a mission just so that we can recycle the old prefab thing, so I can show you finally, look, this is how we recycle things. So we're gonna move into the scene where we have Mustache Man and his quest ecosystem. It was an interior thing right here. So you see the quest template is still there, but now I'm addressing the fact that Mr. Texture Man is not part of our quest system template. Texture Man was just there because we created a problem by not using a sprite, by using a prefab NPC. We created the problem that all the mechanics were exposed, so we had put a texture man in front to hide the inner workings. But this was just to teach you guys. Mixer texture man is not good. We don't need him. We won't copy him as part of the prefab. He was just there as a temporary fix in the scene. So we take the actual quest ecosystem. And I will drag it right into the prefab folder, because this is organized enough for me. So you see here my quest template that I made a typo in it, like template, whatever, it's not important. So my quest system is now dragged there. The only thing is that when you want to reuse it in other scenes, everything that's in the fields of the inspectors will all have to be reconfigured. But otherwise, the structure itself, the parent and the child and the triggers and the structure itself is all good. So now we go back to the cave, and then we go back to the folder of the prefab where we just drag and drop our Mr. Mustache from previous episode. So right here, we see that everything is there. It just took everything. But we see, like I said, oh, it still says Bad Boy 1, Bad Boy 2, which are the quests to defeat the anti-hero. And then you look at item checker, it's looking if you have a key. So yeah, basically it's doing everything. It is Mustache Man, the real and the only one that we all know and love. But he is now in the cave. and we need to unmustachify him. And to whatever, that's not even a word. And to trim his mustache, we will start by making him invisible, you know, because like I said earlier, we had not a sprite on front of him, we had directly the prefab, so all the mechanics were exposed. But now we will make him invisible and use it in a way that I use it normally, which is to always make the mechanics invisible, the NPC and stuff, and then you deal with the sprite that represents the actual person to which you talk, in this case Hollis. So we're gonna put it all, the head and the body of all 3 NPC on default layer. This way it's gonna be behind everything, so it's gonna be the same thing as if it was invisible. So once everything is default layer, now it's gonna be invisible in the scene, as you see. Now the mechanics are all hidden. You will not see like, oh, I see Mr. Mustache Man looking in the wrong direction. No, you won't see anything. It's all invisible. This is what I meant, guys. The mechanics are all hidden this way. There won't be we won't need to put a texture man or any shenanigans like this. So once we put it there, we're gonna create the quest system to add this new party member, which is Hollis. But first we need to well, not first, but I do it in this order because it's good not to forget. We are gonna add the new quest, the quest that will be used by the new quest system. So the name is not important. I'm just gonna name it like I think I'll name it All Man, like all for Hollis. So won't be long. Yeah, All Man, camelback style. Not really the H's cap. Like All Man Part 1 and All Man Part 2. I just use these terms because it's not important. The only thing that's important is to have different names than the ones from Mustache Man. We don't want to use Bad Boy, it makes no sense. Bad Boy are quests that are already completed since the door is open and we step in the trap. So these needs to be all new quests. So now you go through the entire prefab ecosystem, and everywhere that it says Bad Boy 1, I just replace it with the new quest name. So now I'm just going through everything, like, oh, Bad Boy 1 here, I'm gonna change it. And even though I know I'm done with Bad Boy 1, I just go through the whole thing because I want to show you guys how it's done. So now I show oh, he's still giving a shield too, he's still taking a key. You know, we're gonna have to change those fields, but otherwise everything is there. And the item checker, of course, is looking for the key. So now we are done with replacing the Bad Boy 1 with All Man 1. And then I will simply oh, first I change items. Okay, so instead of the key, we're gonna recycle the magic truffle from the demo because we are in a cavern. Why not? It's there. We're trying to save time right here. So the second place you need to put the item is on the NPC 1 because he takes the key from your pocket. Now he's gonna take the magic truffle instead. Now I'm saying, you know what, Mustache Man was giving a shield because you beat the bad guy, but Hollis here is not gonna give you anything. He's gonna join the team, so your treat, your gift, your present is that he joins the team. He doesn't need to give you something on top, but you can if you want, but just doesn't need to. So now I'm going in the game manager and I'm copy pasting the name of the other quest because I'm super lazy. Ain't we all? Being lazy is just another way to say I'm smart, because when you're not smart, you do things the hard way. And I'm saying that I'm always smart. I'm very often not smart. I'm a mix of both. I'm a normal human being. So now I replace the Bad Boy 2 with the All Man Part 2, so that we continue reskinning our quest ecosystem. And you see, like, oh, that was pretty much it. There's only 1 or 2 places where you needed to change this. Spoiler alert, by the way, NPC 2 is not needed for this part. My French counterpart just has not realized yet because he's like doing stuff that takes concentration because he's speaking at the same time and streaming. But otherwise, we will end up, if you just follow this video, we'll end up noticing that NPC2 is not needed here, and he's basically just a pain in the butt. So we will remove NPC2 and reconfigure NPC1. So just keep watching, you'll see. I'm just saying you in advance. I'm just saying you in advance that I know NPC2 will go. So now we want to change the dialogues, because we changed the quest, we changed the item checker item. Now we want to change the dialogue. So I'm just gonna multiply. No, I create right click, create dialogue. I create a dialogue for Allman, you know. But before duplicating it, I'm just gonna configure it with a portrait in advance. So then the duplicated dialogues, I won't have to add the portraits in each of them, you know. It's a good technique. You configure something before duplicating it. This way you don't have to reconfigure every iterations of the duplicated item. So now I just take the portrait to make this Hollis dialogue complete. I'm gonna put some placeholder lines. I think I'm even gonna put his name. But you need to slash Hollis or dash Hollis. Honestly, even in French, I'm not sure if it's slash or dash. It's just I put very little importance on on things like that. Me, I'm a concept person. I'm not a let's go nuts about vocabulary person. It's important to vehiculate concepts. It's what's important, because then you speak with people different languages. Yeah, so you need to vehiculate concepts before vehiculating words. So yeah, just keep that in mind, that I'm doing my best in another language. So I'm putting some placeholder lines on him, you know, just like this is line text 1, this is line 2. I wrote in French, I'm sorry, usually I write in English, but ligne is line. It's just one letter added for nothing. So yeah, now we can multiplicate it, and we can give each version to its NPC. So the first NPC, he has the first Allman dialogue, then the duplicated one, I put it to the second one, and you've guessed it, the third to the third. So now all three NPC, they're no longer called Mustache Man, they're now called Hollis, and they now will say like, hello, this is the first time you speak to me. Oh no, not yet. I'm gonna do it here. Okay. So just to help troubleshoot, when we will talk to him, we want to know like, okay, which dialogue is this? So I just put this like, this is the first time you speak to me. This is what I'm writing in French. And then the second NPC, I'm gonna do the same. I'm just gonna say, I'm gonna make it like smaller, because why? It's not important. And I'm like, this is the second time you speak to me. It's what I wrote in French. And then obviously, just to make sure, the third NPC, we're gonna make him say this is the third time. So this way, when we test NPC, it's gonna be like so easy and obvious. So yeah, made a few typos, not important. I correct them because I have OCD. I cannot tolerate mistakes that go unchecked. Bon. So yeah, just hold on a second for synchronization. Now I've changed all the text. This is all good. I think I'm gonna notice like, oh yeah, you know what, our NPC2, he was opening the door, but now we're not in the scene with the door. We're not gonna open the door, so we're gonna have to make to change this. So NPC2, so he was right here on dialogue start, but now it says none because we're not in the scene with the door object. So it's basically saying, okay, dude, there was something in the field, but I don't find it. It just goes to none. But either way, we don't want him to to open a door. We just remove it, okay? So into adapting our quest ecosystem to this scene, we remove the dialogue trigger on NPC2 that makes the door open, because it's not there. So after that, we will make him be a new party member. So right now I do this in NPC 2, but like I said, I'll end up doing it in NPC 1 because NPC 2 is not good right now. So you click add a new party member and destroy after joining. This way the NPC that talks to you as he joins will be removed from game, so you cannot like join infinite times. So now I'm I'm going in the game manager. I'm just showing you what they meant by which party member slot. So here you see party member, the 4 party members that are created in the demo kit, and so you can reference them in the dialogue field, and it will make that party member join the team. But for now, we could put Rem 2, which is Rem with dark hair in the cave, like, oh my god, I just stepped into a underworld, a parallel dimension with the evil Rem. But no, we'll just continue like this. We will use Hollis because we already put his portrait and his name, and so we will continue by adding Hollis. So now I go back there and to the field where it says which party member. As soon as I find it, yeah, there it is, and we're gonna put 1 because currently in the kit 1 is Hollis. So this is good. This is good. Now Hollis will join when we speak. So now I think I'm going over... Oh yeah, I'm going over the fact that now if we want to test the NPC, we actually need a magic truffle, because he will not join the team without a magic truffle. But this episode right now is way too long, so we're not gonna create... we're not gonna create like a mini game to get the item. No, we're just gonna put a chest right in our face. We're gonna put the item in it. We're gonna test the NPC. When it all works, then you can in the next episode be like, okay, where do we put that truffle? We want you to work for it. We'll see about that. We'll see. So now what is French me doing? Just one moment. Oh yeah, I'm going over the fact that now this looks all fine and dandy, but since we're not using since we're using a sprite to represent Hollis, we will need to deactivate that sprite. Otherwise, he will join the team and stuff, but his sprite will still be there, idle, chilling, like, yeah, you got a problem with me, bro. So yeah, so we will put a trigger. You know, we just remove the trigger that opened the door. We'll put a new trigger that will deactivate the sprite of Hollis quite simply. So I'm just gonna end up putting it at the same place, right? Yeah, right where the door was. Just end up putting Hollis set active, so it turns it off. So at this point, French me thinks that everything will be fine, but he has not started troubleshooting yet. So we will run the game very soon, and we will see what is left. What is the problem to fix? But right now, like I said, I'm gonna spawn the chest real fast. So right click to the RPG kit objects, chest. Like I said, I'm not gonna make you run after it. This is just to test. So we're gonna name it 003 because we already have the first 2 chests. And then the item we're gonna put in it is going to be the truffle, for the magic truffle for that the PC wants to join us. We will deal with the reason and whatnot. It's not important for now. Now we're doing the mechanics of the place. Then it's in design territory when you choose what actual item and the reasons and everything that goes around it. That's a game design territory. Right now we're creating the mechanics of the structure. So I added the chest, so now it exists, so I can save, and now we can test for the first time, and we will see all the things that we need to address, because we prefab the thing from the scene in the overworld, and right now we change all the fields to recycle it. So basically now we're testing. Okay, we speak to him for the first time. This is what he says, so that's good. It completes the quest, that's good. So now if you try to speak to him, he won't say anything, because we did not program any text to say in between. So this is fine. we loot the magic truffle. You see on the left in the hierarchy, the NPC1 spawned because the item checker detected him. So he says, oh, this is the second time you speak to me. So now if I speak to him a third time, he will appear in the team menu window, and he should disappear, or so he should. And he did, but there's a problem, but my French part doesn't know it yet. There is a box collider that is still active somewhere in the ecosystem. So there's an invisible wall in the place where the NPC was. So I'm trying to move like, what the... Okay. So now this is why we troubleshoot stuff. You could just put a rock or something and call it a day, but that's not as a prudent way to work, neither a good way. So what we will do is we will diagnostic which of the NPC has a big strong collider like that, and I will end up deactivating, because the NPC have two colliders. The prefab NPC, I mean those from the kit, they have a collider for his trigger to talk with him, and they have a collider with no trigger, which is the one that is down, that makes you not walk over them. But we already have the sprite Hollis with a collider. The dialogue box guys, they don't need to have hard colliders. They just need the his trigger colliders. So we're gonna deactivate the collider on both the NPCs, but it's still not gonna be enough because there's still another problem. So we're gonna run in circle for a minute or two, and then I'll notice oh, the NPC2 is the problem. And yeah, so at the... Oh my god, there's still almost 5 minutes to go. There's still like 5 minutes of troubleshooting to go. That's the thing. When I film the video, I'm in French. So the French version is more heavy in troubleshooting, because in French version, I'm doing it for the first time. You know, like I'm doing it, oh, okay, let's do this, let's do that. And I'm not editing much because I want you guys to see the process. I want you guys to see, oh, he made a mistake, then he tries to find the problem, he says it must be the collider, then you see if it works or not, and you learn how to diagnostic, how to troubleshoot as I do it. But the thing is that then I do a voiceover in English, and that whole 5 minutes of troubleshooting, it was in real time, you know. So now it's like, okay, I'm not sure if I completed that sentence properly, but I'm gonna assume that you understand what I mean. When I troubleshoot in real time, I'm basically saying what's going on word by word, and it's very simple to organize in my head. This is where I'm going, this is the next thing, you know. I'm just going logically. But right now in English, I already know in advance that the solution is, so it's cringy for me to watch myself, to watch him try all of the things and making the French people waste time, you know. Because I told you in advance, you know, the problem is the NPC2. So the NPC2 is not needed right now, because it was needed to open the door into the first scene, but in this scene we recycled the ecosystem. But right here, this is different. We want the player to join the team and to disappear. We don't want him to stay in his house. So what we need to do is to simply go on NPC1 and make NPC1 join and delete NPC2. It's just a thing right now. The French version is trying so hard to accommodate the existence of NPC2, and I pretty much do, you know. I end up making him invisible and all, but it's just a complicated set of triggers and stuff. And like, why are we punishing ourselves? Like right now, you see, okay, we solved the problem of the collider, but now you still have the chat box active. So that's why I notice, okay, so the problem is that the NPC1 is activated. And why is it activated? Because right here, the logic says, quest to check Old Man Part 1 active if complete, spawn NPC1. So as long as you completed this quest, NPC1 will always be spawned. So the only way to actually despawn him, in this current system, is to make the NPC1 join the team. So the NPC2 is just causing problem right now. In fact, both NPC2 and yeah. So sorry, I'm filling time while a French counterpart catches up. So he's trying some more bullshit things like, oh, I'm gonna deactivate your own self. Like, yeah, right. Everything is fine. No, they say you look like a fool when you try wrong solutions. It's okay, but then at least we find the good solution. There's only 1 minute to go now. In 1 minute, French counterpart will be at the right solution, and we will stop the suffering. So I'm just gonna say what he's doing, so you understand. So I got the truffle, NPC1 spawned. I spoke to him, NPC2 spawned. So now when I press on Z, it will speak to NPC2, which currently says join team, and this spawned the Hollis sprite. So this works, but you see NPC1 still exists, and even though he does not have a collider, his dialog box still exists. So this is where I realize, my French counterpart realize, okay guys, well, there's clearly a simple problem and I'm making everyone waste time, so I'll just pause the video and come back with the solution. And like seconds later, I'm like, okay guys, so the solution, here it is. It's simply that an NPC2 is not needed. So sorry if for the voiceover you had to wait. It was not... made no sense. In French it made sense, whatever. So we're gonna remove NPC2 and the whole thing is gonna work, guys. But then what the NPC2 add, we're gonna put it on NPC1. So right now I just deleted NPC2. NPC2 no longer exists. So then you go in the quest object activator. He no longer needs this part that made NPC2 spawn, because NPC2 is no longer a thing. So we just uncheck it. Now it no longer exists. So now we just need to configure NPC1 so he does what NPC2 was doing. So add new party member, we want a party slot 1, we want to destroy after joining. At this point I think everything is fine, except I forgot to put the Hollis sprite to be destroyed when he joins the team as well. Otherwise, now that NPC2 is gone, this is the first time you talk to me. Then he's standing there, grab the magic truffle, NPC1 spawns. Then when you speak to him, he will join team and they spawn everything at once. Bam. And that's when I realized, oh, the sprite, the Hollis sprite, we deactivated it with NPC2. We did not deactivate it with NPC1. We did not switch after deleting the logic. So we're just gonna put a trigger. So on dialog start, instead of deactivating yourself, which was something that makes no sense, we will instead deactivate the sprite of Hollis. So grab the sprite of Hollis, put it there, bam. So now everything works, because now when he joins the team, his sprite will be deactivated. So this was just it. This was just it. Is there something else? I think he's just saying basically what I just said. Yeah, he's just going over the changes. Like he's saying, okay, you deactivate this part. NPC1 has no change at all to him. He's fine like he is. And then NPC item checker, you needed to put the magic truffle. Don't touch the rest. It's fine. It's not interrupting the logic. And then NPC1 there, we needed to put everything NPC2 add, which is party add new party member, destroy after joining, and the magic truffle he takes in your pocket, and it's gonna mark the quest, and the trigger to destroy the sprite Hollis. So this is everything. So now it's finally going to work. There won't be any more floating dialogue or invisible colliders or anything. So now Hollis works. Once we get the item, he will join the team. Like I said, I put in a chest right there to test. But imagine if you had to kill monsters and do a quest every time you want to test. This would be nuts. It would be madness. So this is why we put a chest and we test like this way. And now we see everything works. There is no invisible walls, there is no invisible dialogue, everything is deactivated properly after he joined the team. So now this is satisfactory. We did this properly, even though we did it the long way because I was troubleshooting in real time, you know. This is part of the concept of the video series, that I don't do super edited videos. Yeah, those are more clickbaity, entertaining and stuff, but you don't learn anything. So the point is to see painful details, like right now, oh, this is how you diagnosticate, this is how the logic goes, this is how this and that. And like I said, I'm sorry if in French it's a lot more detailed because it's not a voiceover. But I'm hoping that my English voiceover is good enough that you can follow along. I'm really hoping if you, yeah. So let's move on. Now we go to a basic particle system guide. Very basic because there is so much stuff to learn in Unity. It would take months to cover everything. So yeah, this is why this is an entry point guide. I'm showing you the entry point of everything Unity related. So the particle system, it generates particles, and then you see that it's a lot more condensed. There's a lot more stuff because this is not a prefab from the kit. This is something that comes with Unity. So you see a lot of categories. So if we want to see something similar to a sprite renderer, we need to click on the renderer here, and then you see sorting layer default. We want to put this on foreground, right, if it's fog or something. So right now you see it's putting stuff on the foreground. So we've dealt with the layer. There's a lot of things we can configure, you know, the speed, the color, the transparency. There's a lot of things, so we're gonna go through that one at a time because there's so much stuff, like I said. So right now I think I'm showing you like yeah, I'm showing you right now that we want to modify the appearance if we want to make a convincing fog or something. So you see, sorry, you see the things are despawning about where the scene ends, so that's fine. So I'm showing you the things. So if you stand the start speed, they're gonna start much faster, so they're gonna be able to reach farther. So yeah, we don't need them to go that far. We're just gonna put them like this, so they disappear right after they leave the scene. Because this way it's a more optimized way to work. You know, if you think like Minecraft, you cannot load the entire universe because the universe is infinite. So you only load what's visible, and that's the same principle. You don't make like a 1 kilometer wide particle effect if you're just gonna use like 2 feet. So we're gonna generate particles, but only for the size of the screen is where I'm getting at, not to it's just a 2D game, you know. We don't need to optimize that much, but it's just a good way to learn stuff, to learn the concept of not wasting resources and stuff. So just let's keep on working smart. So I'm not gonna go over the local and world stuff because it's we don't actually need them at this point. You need them sometimes, but not now. Very sorry. I said I would not do it so late voiceovers, but I have so much work to do. You have to realize this free work that I do on YouTube is just part of the work. There's also real work, and there's also being a father, and there's also I have a lot of things going on. I barely sleep, guys. I barely sleep at all. There's no other way. You need a YouTube channel to do anything, and to have a channel you need to make content, and to make content you cannot have a life. But I have a life, but I need content, so you're forced to cut in your hours of sleep to give you guys content, whatever. So I'm showing you guys other stuff. So what interests me right now is the shape, because the shape is what changes things the most. So you can do an hemisphere, which is half a sphere, So this can be good if you want something that looks like that. Otherwise, if you want things to come from a central point, I recommend the sphere. You know, like let's say you had a big crystal structure in the center, in the middle of the scene, and you want some kind of particle effects to shine from it, you know, the sphere would be perfect. Look at donut. If you zone, you can see that it's a shape, and it's a changeable shape, but I'm not gonna bother with any of that. I'm just gonna use the sphere one for myself, because I want to make a nice fog, and I want the fog to come from somewhere. So I'm gonna say, you know what, this water thing on the floor, it's gonna be a hot spring. So I'm gonna place the sphere particle effect right there, but I'm gonna configure it so that it looks like fog. So I'm just showing everything one at a time. So that's basically the thing. All of this is just in the shape and render section so far. So it would take hours to cover everything. So that's why I'm encouraging you to do like I do right now and to test everything out. Just test everything out. There is no other way to learn particle effects than to test everything, because this is how that you get used at using them. So now I show the rotation tool. Let's say I had chosen hemisphere. You can rotate it, so now the fog would come from left to right instead of coming from bottom to top. So the rotation tool does that. You already knew that probably, but I'm still showing it because it's the first time we touch a particle system, and I want you to know as much as you can from this very short guide. And then what is important to me is the transparency, because right now it's very white. That's like nonsense. So we want to lower that. The lower you get, the more it gets transparent. So I'm just gonna guess a value for our fog. I just put like a 61. You could make it even slightly lower. I think it could look even better if you put it maybe 55 or something. But it's quite decent. So this transparency will work. But now I will need to change the size. But before that, I show you guys that you can do like a burst or whatever. There are modes of how the particles are distributed, but I just leave it on random because it's basically better for what I want. You know, the fog is not supposed to have a mind of its own. It's supposed to be random, with influenced by the wind. So that's where the direction comes in. But whatever. So I'm testing this value, and I noticed, dude, I can put like 1,000,000 and it changes nothing. So this spread thing looks like a boolean value to me, unless it's decibel based. It looks like a switch, yes, no. So you put O or you put 1. You can put stop actions, like, oh, something happened, it stopped snowing or it stopped whatever. You can use all the pre-made stuff in the fields right there. Like I said, this is a very complete feature. So at this point, I think we're about done showing the stuff, and I will, the size. So if we put the size at 10, the start size at 10, look, this looks a lot better. It looks more like fog than it did. So this is a good thing. But I put a sphere because now I'm like, no, you know what? There's no wind in here, not yet. The fog must come from the hot spring in all directions. There could be wind coming from wherever, but it's it's not going nuts. Okay, I just put it on sphere there, and we save, and then I just gonna. You can change the color and stuff if you want, but I'm just gonna show you in action. So you see in action, the fog spawns from here, and then French me is saying like, you know what? I don't like the speed. You know, it's like a stroboscope. It's like flashing because they're all spawning one after the other. So me, I would make it. I would change it slightly to so it's better to the eyes. It's less aggressive to the eye. But otherwise, it works. You can configure the slight details. So you can duplicate it. So you Control D on it, and now I put one on the right as well. And finally, to close the tutorial on the particle system, I'm gonna show you guys there's something called a pre-warm. Pre-warm will make the fog load in advance, so it's not gonna be loading in real time as you enter the scene, you know, because the fog does not appear because REM is there. There's no sense. The fog is there way before you got there, because the hot spring was there way before you got there. So we check pre-warm. So now when you enter the scene, all the fog is already there. It's like their life cycle duration 10. It's all used up. You're right in there when you get in. So that's it for the tutorial series. There's a lot of customization to do. I invite you to play with all like I did, but for yourself, to try everything. So now back to our list of things to do. We basically did everything except the enemies. And I was like, oh, I really want to put Rem's mother there. We'll create her a backstory like I don't know yet. We will create a backstory that's hilarious to justify that Rem's, the player's mom, will be waiting at the entrance of the cave to punish you or whatever. So yeah, at this point I'm like, you know what, this episode is way too long. We don't have time to take new assets in this episode. We're just gonna use the 2D RPG kit assets and the thing we already use. So if you we made the battle areas for the crows. We're just gonna reuse them. I'm very sorry, guys. It's for yawning. I try not to, but it just happens. I'm very sorry. So yeah, so we're gonna recycle the black crow battle areas, but before that, apparently, I'm just gonna put the visual of Rem's mother right in the hallway, because I don't want to forget this wonderful ID, and instead of making this. Because right now I'm thinking in advance, and I don't want to spoil it because I think it's such a cool idea. But I got a cool idea for Rem's mom, and for linking our game to the demo game, and I don't want to spoil it. Maybe you just from the hint I just gave, you're like, oh, I think I see what. But it's gonna be funny, I think, and you will see. Just keep watching the series, and next episode, Rem mom. Will really show why Rem is having nightmares. So the next episode we'll work on the bus mechanics of Rem's mom, and we'll work on all that. But for now we need to make her an enemy. So I placed her in the entrance of the cave, but then you add some foreground layer shenanigans. So I placed her sprite in the middle. Now we need to create her as a boss. So I duplicate the gourmet, you know, is the boss that we took to make Blade. So I'm just gonna duplicate him and rename him Rem's mom, because we don't need to waste time at this point. The episode is way too long. So right now French me is in fast forward mode, like OMG, we need to go so much faster than we did. So we're just gonna recycle to the RPG kit stuff. So now I'm adding the new enemy that I created. So I'm adding Rem's mom, even though she's not reskinned yet. So the prefab is created. It's named Rem's mom. All good and peachy. Now we need to reskin him. So we go into sprites character. We will drag and drop Rem's mom sheet on top of the gourmet sheet. But right now I'm like, you know what? We will fight her, but she will be on the side. So we take the sprite that she's looking to the right. So bam, right there, the Enemy Prefab, the Rem's mom is prepared. We're not gonna configure her for now. It's not important. This is for later. For now, we just wanted to create her, and we will finish her battle area shortly. Just that I'm doing too much stuff at the same time. So yeah, now I make the battle area, but I make not Hollis, but I make her a child of the battle area. So when we defeat it, it's gonna despawn what's attached to its child, so it's gonna despawn her. So we're gonna put one enemy in that thing. It's called the Rem's mom. I really don't care for now about that stuff, so we're just gonna go with that. Battle background, we finally have an occasion, a real reason to use the cave, the cave background that comes with the RPG kit. This is a good occasion to use it now because we're in a cave at last. So if you did not in episode 11 and 12 patch your game manager so it does like Feline realms and you have battle zones without a background with deactivated world and collider. If you don't have that, you're forced to use battle backgrounds anyway, but if you did follow the guide and you did patch your kit with the code that I gave in my Discord, then you can use battle without a background to have the real graphics during battle. So I'm just putting a box collider on her so that you cannot go into the cavern even though there's no teleport yet. So I just set things in place for her. So now we're gonna recycle the crows, but I had already put them in a folder, so I'm just gonna go back into it was custom battle areas. Yeah. So now we can just take those crows from the previous scene and we can put them here. They're still configured, everything is fine. Like I said, I like to have no battle picture, but you need to patch the game for that. I patch my own game obviously. If you want to do it, follow episode 11 and 12. Otherwise, you need to let the cave background on them. So it won't be long. I'm just saying that he currently does not move. This crow, we made a prefab like now and duplicate him. It works and all, but it's not gonna move. It's animated, but it's not gonna fly. I mean, from left to right, from point A to B. So I'm like, okay, let's just make two because this is not the final part of making this perfect. This is just configuring enemies and stuff for the scene. So now we're gonna recycle the script from episode 8. So we go into the script folder. If you don't have that script, go episode 8 and you will get it. Actually, it's a prompt. I give the prompt to make that script in the description, and you can drop it in Bing or GPT or whatever you use. That is free, and you will get the same script. So this script is reusable, but like I said in previous episode, when you reuse a script, you need to rename the script, and also you need to rename the class because you cannot have NPC Patrol 1 multiple times. So you need so you can multiply the script as much as you want, but you need to adapt the name of the script and the name of the class inside the script. It's as simple as that. It's very, very simple to animate your entire workforce with a single script, guys. Well, a single script for left to right. You need a separate script for up and down, a separate script for for all the variations. But so now I'm changing because there are two crows, so I have two NPC patrol to modify. Now I'm modifying the other one. So basically I took NPC Patrol 1, I created NPC Patrol 2 and NPC Patrol 3. I renamed them both on the script and inside the text, the public class. Now I just need to enter the values in the scripts. So yeah, right now I'm putting the collider on Rem's mom because I forgot. It's why it was not red. So when I put it and I resize it, like, you know what? We just want to fight her if we actually touch her, and even there we will actually make dialogue and stuff, but for now it's not important. For now I just want her battle to work like this, and we will make this in the putting it all together, the backstory and stuff. I mean, right now we're creating mechanic stuff. So yeah, now I'm at the part where we created the scripts, so we need to slide them on them. So I drag and drop the NPC Patrol 2 on this crow, and then the NPC Patrol 3 that we prepared, I'm gonna drop it on the add component button of this crow. So now both crows have the script attached to them. So now what I want is to give them coordinates for patrolling. So now I say, okay, you're at -10, -10. So if I look below down the inspector, you will see point A. Now my camera is hiding a bit, but it's not important. It's just X and Y. So I put minus 10 in both, and then the point B, I say like I want to be about here, but you see there's a rounding up business going on. This annoys me, so I make a clean number, integer. So just 12, and yeah. So once that you chose, you configured the script attached to the battle area for it to move to your liking, it's all gonna be fine, and we'll do the other crow. Oh yeah, we'll do also the speed and duration. Since it's a bird, I had put it at 4, and pause duration when it patrols at just 1 second. This is personal taste. This is how I configured it. So we go in the second crow, and we're gonna do the same thing. So 4, 1 second duration, and then you look the chords. I'm just gonna round it up. So minus 14 and 4 for this guy. And then we need to find him a destination point. So whatever. It's not important. This is a game design is at the end, where you decide, you know what, I want the crow to go there instead. For now, I just want them to move in our scene, that everything works, that the only thing left to do for someone is to configure to their liking the patrol area, the patrol time, the this and that. Well, so now that our crow prefab have been dragged on the map, and we recycled the script, and we configure the script for them to move left to right, we will create the invisible battle area now, because I like to have a mix of both. I like to have a battle area with weak invisible mobs, and I like to have visible monsters that are like very strong, or there are multiple of them, or both. And then I like to have a boss. So right now you create a battle area the size of the entire screen, and this is where we're gonna decide simple enemies that you can encounter in this area, aside from the ones that are animated. Because the ones that are animated, we can give them items, we can give them a quest purpose, we can give them stuff. You can give them to the invisible monsters as well, but I just think that it's more appealing and engaging that the visible monsters are the one with the most important things attached to them, and that the invisible encounters are about leveling up, you know. The invisible encounters are like, oh, you want a zone with invisible encounters because you want to level up? Well, here's one. Otherwise, you would have to zone to make mobs respawn. So it's why I do a mix of both. I like both worlds. I like to have everything at once. So now in this invisible battle area, I'm gonna put multiple mobs, because monsters, because we have not yet covered the multiple monsters in this tutorial. So we can go up to 3 or 4 monsters. I think it's 3 without problems, and 4 you need to move things around in the UI. But for now we're just gonna go with 2. Yeah, I'm making two big bad crows. Since they're visible monsters, I want 2 big bad crows, and I double the values because there's 2. It's simple this way. I think, oh yeah, we're since there are 2 big bad boys and they're visible monsters, I'm like, let's spice them up a bit. So they'll give just a normal item in reward. So one of them should give, let's say, a revive, because Hollis just joined the team. He's gonna be level 1. He very well could get one-shotted, so we're gonna give you a revive to revive him. You just need to type the name. You don't drag and drop in this particular field. So revive, you need to put the right name, otherwise it won't work. It won't give anything. So the revive is there, and the second monster, I'm gonna give it something different. It was like, oh, you know what? We just got the burn magic. It's a first AoE damage. Maybe the player was super hype and he used it all, and now he's out of mana and he's sad. So we'll give him an ether. So that's a big brain game design. Give him a revive and an ether on the visible monsters. So now I'm just to be more happy with myself, I say, you know what, the invisible zone, we're gonna put multiple different encounters and not only the same one. So you can add elements, you know. So when you do encounter a battle this way, it will go for an element in the list, so randomly. So you don't know if you're gonna get a black crow with a snake, or a black crow with a crow, or a snake with a bug. You don't know what you're gonna get when you put multiple elements. It's gonna pick one of them. So the invisible battle scene is done, even though it's not tested yet. We'll test it in the next episode because it's possible that I forgot a little minuscule thing in it. But look, it makes everything red. It's so hard to do decoration and stuff when you have an invisible battle area on top of your thing. So I'm just gonna move it away. The final product, we will test the battle area invisible. For now, it's just annoying. It's preventing us for seeing the screen properly. So now, basically, at this point, we're pretty much done with this episode. But I'm gonna extracurricularly make animation with that we used. I think it's previous episode. We made a folder. In the folder, there was like gems with lighting patterns on them and stuff. But we had not touched them. So right now, just because I don't want to waste time in the next episode, I'm gonna do them right now. And you don't have to do this if you don't want them. If you want them, I recommend doing it though. So basically, there's a lot of color palettes, so we don't need to do all of them. When I say all of them, there's like LED A, LED B, LED C, and LED D. There's like 4 of them. So you just choose the color that you want. Me, I picked the first one because I could care less at the moment. So I'm just showing you, okay, we're gonna drag the sprite on the map. Once you drag the sprite, I'm just gonna put a collider on it so you can step on it. But then we need to animate it to see the animation of the glowing light. So we're gonna name it A1 because this is the first set of the LED A. Then I count the sprites 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 sprites before it changes the design. So you need to put 6. Then I test 20. Like, it's great, but it's flashing perhaps slightly too fast. I'm gonna put it at 16 and call it a day. So this is now flashing at 16, and this is wonderful. But you'll notice I forgot to put it on the player layer, so I'm gonna have to change all the layer after because because I speak while I work, so I skip important things, and in order to have room in my brain to explain what I do. So we're gonna create all 6 like that. The same way, 6 frames, simple speed. Once they're all created, even though I forgot to change the layer, we're gonna multiplicate them and we're gonna drag and drop them all over the scene. So this way, when we start the next episode, we won't have to deal with this part. It's already gonna be done, so we're gonna be able to deal with the cavern stuff to do that will lead to the REM boss. So we will work on the boss mechanics, and we will implement the new mechanics from the catch 4.3 kit, which is the new silence mechanic and stuff. We will be able to go deep in next episode. Go deep on Rem's mom. We'll go deep, boys. Yeah. So yeah, French me is doing all that. It's very long and boring to do all that. It's why I make all 4 and then I duplicate them, thinking, oh, I'm gonna save so much time. But no, I did not even put them on player layer. So yeah, and there's a problem also. Not a problem, but there is something we will need to address when we get to putting it all together to make this prettier. Is that the current player Rem, his shadow is so terrible for this tile map, because this tile map is a very detailed 32. So when you put our Rem, it has a very primitive shadow next to those end-drawn good shadows. The bad shadows honestly stand out. But let's not go nuts, because we will reskin the game, right? You will not release a game using Rem's appearance. So this is a non-problem. This is a problem that you will not have when you put your own sprite. But I'm just saying that it's a thing. Mixels are a thing, and the current shadow that come with REM is very primitive, and it's very bad for contrast in this particular scene. It did not change anything in previous scenes. It was fine, but in this scene, since it's such a high graphic asset, I think the shadow is very bad here. But we will change our character, so it's a non-event. So now I'm realizing, oh my god, did I really forget the layer before duplicating items? That's the best way to lose 2 minutes of your life. It's a simple mistake like this. So now, yeah, basically I have to go over everyone and put them on player. And I don't want to forget anyone, so I'm going through the hierarchy list right here, not to miss anyone. So once again, I do not edit because I want you guys to learn how to work properly. So right now you did learn, oh my god, before duplicating an item, you're right, you need to put it on the right layer. So yeah. But aside from that, this episode is basically over, guys. So I'm just gonna start talking about it. In the next episode, we will be able to develop the boss and to put some background story and stuff, because right now we just created Hollis. We made him join the team. We just put a chest with the item that he wants on the ground, like there, he's gonna want that. We put 2 crows. We created the enemy Rem's mom, who put her in the door. So next episode, there's a lot of things we need to do to conclude this cave. It will be part 3. And so we will need to make some sort of backstory to the cave, you know, like what's going on here, why does this place exist, why are you here, mom, all of that, why are you here, Hollis. We'll go over all that. Also, why are there bridges? So we need to put some stuff, like you won't let the chest right in our face like that. We will place stuff in the cave, perhaps whatever. We will put it all together in the next episode. We're already over an hour at this point. I can't even put timestamps. YouTube is like, no, we don't want timestamps after the 49-minute mark. So at this point, yeah, this episode is too long. But in the next episode, since we did all of that placement of decoration and all of the troubleshooting and all of the, we did a lot of troubleshooting. It was we did a lot of troubleshooting, and there was not so much fun. It was a lot of troubleshooting. So the next episode will be about beating Rem's mom. So that has to be fun, guys. Come on. We will literally gangbang Rem and Hollis to beat Rem's mom, because she's such a terrible person. And this is not, I'm not speaking about the real Rem's mom. Rem is a fictional character. I mean, in this little demo that we do, the person that looks like Rem's mom is a very terrible person, and we will address what's wrong with that. But it's not really Rem's mom, because Rem will wake up after and be like, oh, this was not you. So now you see in all its glory the battle area with the no background and the particle effect. This is why I like my episode 11 and 12 to deactivate that. It's wonderful. So see you guys in the next episode, where we'll finish the cave. So hi everyone, thank you very much for staying until the end of the video. I like to take this time to ask you to please go on Steam and wishlist my game. Also, you can go on Twitch to see me doing some live development occasionally. If you're a super chat or super chatted, you can do additional support on Patreon. Otherwise, please like and subscribe. Those are really what I'm looking after, because I need to reach 500 subscribers to even be able to get some sort of income from YouTube. Until then, I'm doing this all for free. So thank you for subscribing very much.